Have you ever pursued a comic book and discerned a striking resemblance between one of its characters and another from a different series? If so, you are not alone. The realm of comics, particularly in the competitive landscape of industry giants Marvel and DC, is replete with unique and dynamic heroes and villains. However, on occasion, some characters bear uncanny resemblance to counterparts from the opposing franchise, whether in abilities, origin stories, personalities, designs, and more. This observation is not intended to cast blame. The creative space in comics has its limits, and instances of apparent mimicry could be coincidental or even expressions of flattery. Upon closer examination, readers may discover nuances that differentiate these characters, rendering them less identical than initially perceived. Nonetheless, certain characters exhibit such remarkable similarities that they could be considered counterparts. Differences, whether minor or significant, may exist to counterbalance or complement the parallels. Yet the essence remains that these characters exist as two facades of the same coin. Let's move on, but before that, this is your host Shah and you are watching Comicverse Unleashed, where I post all kinds of comic videos and shorts daily, so you definitely gotta subscribe. Moon Knight and Batman. Everyone is familiar with The Dark Knight. Batman, who has graced numerous animated adaptations, starred in acclaimed movies, and stands as one of the most iconic figures in comic books. Yet, until recently, Marvel's Moon Knight may not have been as widely recognized. Both Batman and Moon Knight assume the roles of costume vigilantes, utilizing their vast resources, tools, and combat skills to wage war against criminals under the cover of night. Charlie Huston, one of the Moon Knight's writers, openly acknowledged the parallels between the two characters. While recognizing the similarities, he emphasized that Batman and Moon Knight diverge significantly in their origins and motivations. Batman's crusade against crime is fueled by the traumatic murder of his parents, whereas Moon Knight, having been killed and resurrected by a deity, serves as a champion against injustice, introducing a supernatural element absent from Batman's narrative. Hawkeye and Green Arrow. Hawkeye and Green Arrow, two superheroes lacking superpowers, rely on exceptional archery skills and specialized arrows in their crime-fighting endeavors. Both hold significant roles in major superhero teams, the Avengers and the Justice League, respectively, and exhibit distinct color schemes. Hawkeye dons purple, while Green Arrow, as the name suggests, embraces green. Despite sharing a common gimmick, their personalities sharply contrast. Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, is a billionaire characterized by a robust persona. He's extroverted, sarcastic, and strongly opinionated. On the other hand, Clint Barton, alias Hawkeye, initially portrayed as snarky and rebellious, evolved into Marvel's everyman. Operating with more modest means, Hawkeye reflects the struggles of an ordinary individual trying to make ends meet while engaging in an extraordinary occupation. Namor or Aquaman. Kings of Atlantis. Check. Defenders of the sea. Check. Possessing the ability to breathe underwater, super strength, and communicate with marine life. Check, check, and check. At first glance, Namor the Submariner and Aquaman appear nearly identical in abilities and overall concept. However, where they exhibit nuanced differences, albeit minor, is in their attitudes. Namor is an anti-hero with an unabashedly arrogant and extreme temperament, adding a memorable edge that often leads to conflicts with fellow superheroes. On the other hand, Aquaman, while occasionally displaying hostility towards those perceived as ignorant of his domain, firmly aligns himself with the side of good. Interestingly, Aquaman endured years as a subject of ridicule in DC, owing to his vibrant orange costume and penchant for riding a giant seahorse into battle. Deadpool or Deathstroke. Wade Wilson meets Slade Wilson. Beyond their conspicuous names, Deadpool and Deathstroke share common ground as mercenaries armed with swords and guns, having undergone experimentation that granted them regenerative healing powers. However, their personalities sharply diverge. Deathstroke stands as one of the DC Universe's most dreaded professional killers, harboring a dark and intricate history, coupled with a personal vendetta against Dick Grayson, the leader of the Teen Titans. On the flip side, Deadpool, his Marvel counterpart, excuse the demeanor of a jester. While Deadpool boasts considerable power within the Marvel's roster and possesses a tumultuous past, his narratives predominantly feature humor and his unique talent for breaking the fourth wall. Black Cat and Catwoman. Meet two femme fatales who embody the cat burglar concept quite literally. Felicia Hardy and Selina Kyle share not only a penchant for feline-themed theory but also the distinction of being enduring romantic interests for superhero charmers Spider-Man and Batman, respectively. Despite their criminal endeavors, both Felicia and Selina adhere to a personal code that, while driven by selfish gains, prevents them from embracing full-fledged villainy. Their relationships with the Spider and the Bat, fueled by ongoing romances, keep them from becoming outright enemies. Differences emerge when delving into Felicia and Selina's backgrounds. Catwoman is traditionally portrayed as having humble origins before turning into a life of crime. In contrast, Black Cat, the daughter of a renowned thief, followed in her father's footsteps to enter the criminal world. Another distinction lies in their powers. While Selina lacks superhuman abilities, Felicia has been portrayed with bad luck powers, aptly fitting her codename. Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate. Marvel and DC each present mystical threats countered by formidable magicians, Doctor Strange in Marvel and Dr. Fate in DC, both adorned with distinctive capes that exude a wizardly aura. The key distinction lies in the character dynamics. Doctor Strange is uniquely himself, having undergone training to attain the title of Sorcerer Supreme. On the other hand, Dr. Fate embodies a dual nature, drawing immense power from a cosmic entity named Nabu. Nabu requires human hosts to actively combat supernatural evils, with various individuals assuming the mantle of fate, the most renowned being the archaeologist Kent Nelson. Vision or Red Tornado. In the annals of superhero lore, a villain once devised a superpowered android to dismantle a renowned super team. However, the android, developing a conscience, defied its creator, aligning with the very group it was intended to combat. This narrative echoes in both Marvel's Vision and DC's Red Tornado. While Vision boasts the unique ability of intangibility and Red Tornado harnesses wind-based powers, discerning between them primarily hinges on popularity and nuanced details. Vision's poignant storyline, intertwined with his romance with the Scarlet Witch and his tenure as an Avenger, earned him enduring acclaim. His cinematic portrayal by Paul Bettany in the MCU only heightened his recognition. In contrast, Red Tornado, with his otherworldly origin and human connections, has largely occupied supporting roles within the DC universe. Winter Soldier or Red Hood. In the realm of comics, an age-old jest contends that nobody truly stays deceased except for Bucky Barnes, Jason Todd, and Uncle Ben. Yet, the comic universe defied this notion as both former superhero sidekicks, Bucky and Jason, experienced resurrections under mysterious circumstances. Bucky emerged as the enigmatic Winter Soldier, while Jason took on the mantle of the Red Hood. Their paths led them to confront their erstwhile mentors, Captain America and Batman, respectively. Over time, their true identities were unveiled, transforming them into anti-heroes before eventually evolving into formidable yet morally ambiguous protagonists. Despite the parallels in their origin stories and character trajectories, Bucky and Jason remain markedly distinct. Jason willingly embraced immoral actions, while Bucky, having been brainwashed into serving malevolent forces, earnestly aspired to redemption following his liberation. Professor X and Niles Caulder. DC's superhero ensemble, Doom Patrol, has often invited comparison within Marvel's X-Men, and no characters exemplify these parallels more distinctly than the leaders of respective teams, Charles Xavier of the X-Men and Niles Caulder of the Doom Patrol. Both are intellectuals who, relying on wheelchairs, utilize their considerable resources to establish heroic groups comprising individuals with extraordinary powers and conditions, marking them as societal outsiders. A notable distinction lies in Xavier's possession of psychic abilities, while Caulder relies solely on exceptional intelligence. However, recent iterations of Caulder portray him as a shadowy figure, clandestinely responsible for the misfortunes of his charges. In contrast, Xavier, despite his own questionable actions, remains genuinely idealistic and demonstrates a caring attitude towards his students. And finally, we have Thanos and Darkseid. Marvel and DC each boast a flagship superhero team, the Avengers for Marvel and the Justice League for DC. Among the numerous adversaries these teams have encountered, few villains stand out as much as Marvel's Thanos and DC's Darkseid. Alien warlords with an obsession for acquiring powerful MacGuffins that would grant them dominion over abstract aspects of existence. Notably, they share a striking resemblance, a deliberate choice by Thanos creator Jim Starlin. The pairing appears designed for contrast. Thanos fixates on Lady Death, utilizing the Infinity Gauntlet to spread death across the universe, while Darkseid seeks control over all life, pursuing the elusive anti-life equation. Fundamentally, Darkseid is a determined conqueror while Thanos' motivations have varied, with his eerie infatuation with death being a consistent driving force. So there you have it, folks. Top 10 Marvel and DC superheroes that are nearly identical. Do let us know what do you think about them in the comments, and I will catch you in the next video. Till then, stay heroic, stay unleashed.